Ai, voltei. Não fiz nada daquele vídeo pra esse, só que eu esqueci de colocar pra gravar. Daí eu andei aqui, peguei o marcador de cultista, daí comecei a fazer o vídeo. Tinha esquecido. Hum, um pergaminho de.
Something over there.
Na real, eu acho que eu só vou explodir tudo isso aqui mesmo e falou. Ah, é, tem que parar de ser preguiçoso. Deixa eu ver. Pronto.
Not a chance I'll fit in there.
Wits and blades, always sharp. I don't think I'll fit through there.
Nem assim? Caramba.
Shouldn't have wished to live in more interesting times. What a day.
Desce. Ah, eu tô com muita raiva, calma.
With pleasure.
Dei uma lucrada, hein. Mas na real parece que dinheiro não vale muita coisa nesse jogo não, porque, meu Deus, hein. E ó, tem um Goblin ali.
Just be quick.
Será que se eu salvar ele vira amiguinho? Eu gosto de amiguinhos. Oh, oh.
Oh dear. Someone's left a trap out for us.
Praise his ever-bleeding axe. Praise his throne of flaming iron. Praise Maglobiet.
You know Maglobiet, a tyrannical deity who treats his goblinoid followers as slaves.
Trying to interrupt my prayers? Scared of a real god? You're as goonless as the rest of them. That's rich. A free world? And how come I'm locked up like a bloody elf? I'll tell you why. 'Cause I'm loyal to McGlubbiet. 'Cause I ain't having my head turned by some upstart god. Yeah. My old tribe's fallen for this shite. Traitorous bastards. The great Absolute brings us together. Drow and gnolls and goblins all braiding one another's hair. It's a load of shite. Talking to you, ain't I? I just don't believe in all this togetherness and chumminess. Ain't natural. It won't last. They'll be tearing into each other soon enough. Sod 'em all. I'll wait it out in here. You think this is funny? I'll be the one laughing when... Look at where the Absolutes love gotten. Dead! Thanks for breaking me out. Gonna find me a new tribe. One that appreciates the old ways.
Amiguinho.
Let's get going.
Uhum. Pelo que eu me lembro, tem uma ogra gigantesca do outro lado dessa porta.
Softer than a whisper.
You've been caught trespassing. Again. The only thing you've managed to convince them of is that you absolutely...
Still alive, so that's progress.
You've wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave. You have outstayed your already flimsy welcome, and now you will leave.
Trust no one.
You've set foot in a restricted area. A swift exit may be in order. The only thing you've managed to convince them of is...
What's next?
You not supposed to be here. Leave!
You've wandered into a forbidden area. You sense it might be time to leave.
Melhor essa.
Let's go.
Talk to me. Time to strike. I will not know failure.
Still breathing, despite everything. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Now they see me.
I'm ready. Focus, strike true. Time to strike.
Nothing will stand in my way.
que tá me deixando tão pesado?
Stars and moons, like that dwarf's poem said. And these plates can be turned.
Beleza, é só ver o poema agora. Deve estar comigo em teoria. Tá. Aqui.
What's that?
Calma. Ah, é, não tem nenhum lugar aqui pra ver isso, mas eu sei onde tem. É um pouco de raiva, né? Mas é a vida.
I wonder who or what those chains are for.
Tu, 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 tu. Nossa, eu vou procurar como que corre, porque na real dá nessa velocidade o jogo inteiro. É Stonks, não. Não é Stonks. Somzinho de cor, sempre bom. Falar nisso. Tá. Lutei demais. Eu sei que tá por aqui. Ah, essa câmera não facilita em nada a minha vida. Aqui, ó. Tá, lua cheia, lua apagada. Tá, círculo branco centralizado no círculo de cima. Vou lembrar.
I had another dream. Whoever's reaching out to us truly does seem opposed to the Absolute. Perhaps we truly have a secret protector. Or we're walking into a trap.
Ah, this goes very far down. We'll have to go in to see the bottom.
É. Sou cheio.
Do we have to spend so long poking about down here? I'd much rather be outside, with the sun on my skin.
You've only just come to tolerate sun and you're already nostalgic. If you're going to complain the whole way, by all means, return topside. You could use the color.
Let's see what this does.
Get back!
More effort than a pit of spikes. Credit where it's due.
Parece que esse lugar é tipo um forte de defesa. Intrigante, intrigante.
Yes. Do keep your wits, Shadowheart. Should a dagger suddenly slice your neck, we may never know who's to blame.
É, esperava um pouquinho mais, mas é a vida. Tive que espirrar no travesseiro aqui da cadeira. É tudo feito de um corino, então sempre faz uns barulhos. Eu espero que não estejam confundindo com gases. Até porque seria impossível, porque eu consigo me mutar em questão de segundos com o botão do fone. Então é.
Let's have a look at myself.
Gases serão uma coisa que não aparecerá nessa série. É. Tô cheio de missão pra fazer. Eu vou fazer, né? Deixa eu ver o mapa. Não é esse. Ai, 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 ai. Esse esquema de botão ainda vai me deixar com raiva. Aliás, já deixou, né? Mas.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon. I sense you don't quite appreciate the urgency of the matter.
Tá, deixa eu ver o que dá pra. Dá pra ele.
to speak slowly. I'm finding it quite difficult to concentrate with my condition gnawing at my insides like a teething displacer kitten. That is most gratifying to hear. May I? Thank you. Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mistra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. And the waste it might have been. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy. Who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it. Much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself. The Lady of Mysteries. The goddess Mistra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse. And later, even my lover. Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mistra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross. Yet, every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. Though not, I think, my methods. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. She only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale?
Vou pegar uma camisa. Tá muito frio aqui, então vou lá pegar uma camisa. Já volto.
Very well. Here goes.
Voltei.
Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. And he almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? I certainly thought so. Sometimes there is great strength to be found in symbolism. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in, into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book bound and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. Oh gods, is it ever hungry?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. Every waking moment. Every dreaming moment, too. But there was no way out. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways. Once I'd step out of the protective aura of the artifact, it wouldn't be long before the Absolute overtakes me. I'd never let that happen, so I'd aim for a swift end. I would consume some midnight tears and venture as deep into the Underdark as I possibly could, till they cloud my eyes forever. With a bit of luck, I'd manage to make it to a mind-flared colony so that when the orb erupts, one loud, last song of vengeance would reverberate through the dark. Wouldn't be a heroic end, but coarsely poetic enough in its justice. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth. Go ahead. I'm listening. Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistril, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like to be a god, to know yourself, to be untouchable, to be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel, and with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistril sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistril, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more, an event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. If it takes the death of a god to stop you, I'd say your ambition has gotten somewhat out of hand. Not that I'm one to talk, of course. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls. I know what it is to hunger, and I know what it takes to keep that hunger under control. So long as he sates his appetite elsewhere, I'm happy to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Hey, soldier. It wasn't all that long ago. I never knew the whole of how and why, but I remember I should have looked after the Elterans more. Gone out of my way. The long and short of it was, I didn't want to risk my... But Avernus is no place for decent folk. I'm glad they got out. So glad.
Eu vou terminar esse episódio.